When it comes to victims of COVID-19, restaurants here in Louisiana and across the country have been hit pretty hard. News 15's Cassie Sherm looks at this pandemic and how it could affect future of the restaurant industry here in Acadiana.
Food and restaurants are a huge staple here in Acadiana, but with many restaurants closed down and others only offering to go, some restaurant owners fear some of those restaurants may not open back up after this pandemic.
There are restaurants that if we don't get them opened up very soon, they probably will not reopen.
Randy Daniel, a restaurant owner and the president of the Acadiana chapter of Louisiana Restaurant Association, says the numbers look rough for businesses trying to stay afloat during this pandemic.
Right now, there's about an 80%, 75% layoff in the industry.
According to the recent survey from the National Restaurant Association, more than 8 million restaurant employees were laid off or furloughed the first week of the outbreak, and 2 out of 3 restaurant employees have lost their jobs.
Most restaurateurs' goal right now is just to maintain covering our costs. We're not making any money right now, and to bring our full staff in, we have to evaluate how we can last until we're open back up so that we can bring our staff back in.
Nearly half of all restaurants have closed temporarily because of COVID-19 restrictions. 3% of restaurants are permanently closed, and 11% anticipate closing permanently in the next coming weeks. Daniel says those numbers accurately represent what's happening here in Acadiana.
If we don't get the restaurants open soon, I think now more than 11% that close and don't reopen.
Everybody's struggling.
For Craig Smith, owner of Smitty's Wings, he's putting all he has into his restaurant to not be in that 11%.
I'm using some of my savings I had saved up, mutual funds I'm selling. I applied for the PPP, I applied for the disaster loans, I applied for everything. I can't get no paperwork done.
He says there's a lot at stake.
It's my business. It's my baby. I want to make sure it crawls.
Daniel says those numbers may seem scary, but it could become worse with time.
We are on a ticking time bomb in the industry. The longer we go, the higher that's gonna happen, the higher it's gonna get.
Daniel says him and other restaurant owners are anxiously waiting to hear when they can finally have their customers come back inside to eat their meals. In Lafayette, I'm Cassie Sherm, News 15.